Hi, Russell. How are you today?
Pretty good.
Good. Listen, I have to address this right off the bat. That scene in the first 5 minutes of the film where you were holding that match, did you flinch? How many times did y'all take how many times did it take to film that? Because I was sitting there going, they couldn't have possibly done that in one take.
Yeah, it was. I was actually quite surprised because we talked about, the moment that I might lean forward and blow it out.
Right.
It was one of those funny things because it's an old-fashioned match, and actually trying to get it to strike. Because remember, it's raining outside too. So I'm going into the car and out of the car, so I'm all wet. So uh, it wasn't like an exact science with that strikeable match. So that happened a few times, but then that just one time, and it burnt all the way down to my fingers, and it only just started to hurt, and then it just went out by itself. So it was like, oh, okay, cool. But at least we got it.
Cause man, that look on your face, I'm like, oh, he's good. He's good. Cause I would have been flinching. I would have been looking over to the side going, y'all got that? Y'all got that? I was like, yes, Russell Crowe, you did that. And I'm just going to fangirl out for a minute. I'm a huge fan of yours. So if I'm a little tongue tied and a little nervous, that would be why. Um, you have been playing in the last couple of big films that I saw. You did the dad in Boy Erased, and now you're playing this disgruntled dad in this film. These types of characters for you, are they easy? Are they hard to come by? Is it like a new kind of water for you to tread in, and are you loving it?
Well, the father and boy erased. That's he. He's a real man, and he's the pastor of his community. And I always said to people that even though I might differ in myself of what his beliefs are, I went and met him, and he was a good man, and he was a righteous man, and full of love, and but there was a fundamental thing where he couldn't accept a decision that his son had made. And that's a very complicated guy, and he may be the bad guy of that piece. But some people that you play, circumstances put them in a situation rather than necessarily they are bad at the core. Um, Recently I played Roger Ailes in the TV series The Loudest Voice, and a lot of people describe him as a monster. And certainly if you Google him and read about his demise, that's how you would view him. He had abused his power. He had put a lot of people in a situation which was, you know, uh, very, intense for them, and he'd done it for his own quote unquote enjoyment. And but at the same time, here's a man who's achieving great things. He's creating a business that is pumping out $2 billion in cash every year. He's seen by others as, extremely loyal, charming, a mentor, an inspiration. So you've somehow got to capture all of that stuff and yet still be that person who makes those decisions to abuse people as well. This guy is very different. This thing is a matter of taking away your own humanity, because that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with somebody who's drained of their humanity. And you mentioned that he may or may not be a father before, but we don't really know. We don't get that information. There's no point in this movie where we stop and expositionally try to justify what this guy's doing, because there is no justification. And to me, the journey for me was initially seeing it as just a genre film, and then seeing it in the wider perspective of Western society as we are right now, and realizing how directly this film was commenting on a certain type of energy that is being created, where time and time again we see guys make the decision to be drained of humanity and commit ultra violence on people that they don't know for no reason. The mass shootings that keep popping up, and a lot of other things that are indicating that we've got so much work to do in terms of keeping communication going and understanding that there's elements of society that are feeling like they're dropping off a cliff. And that's why I felt it was important to do.
Thank you so very much for answering those questions for me. I really appreciate it. And I was screaming at the screen. I was like, oh Lord, the first 5 minutes wore me out. But thank you so much for taking time to talk to me, Russell. I really appreciate it.
All my best to you. Stay safe.
You too. To keep up with the Curvy Critic, like our page here, click that subscribe button, and click that bell for notifications. Love, peace, and hair grease, y'all.